Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Tony Trongone, your host, along with our head coach of the Thunderbolt football team, Coach Humberto Ayala. Welcome back. Welcome back for me, Coach. Right, you've been here. I've been out sick.
Yes.
So good to see you guys again. And
Same.
as we always do, want to introduce our guests.
I got Coach Core, our defensive coordinator, to my
back,
right.
Coach.
And then we got our starting linebacker, Jamal Wallace Jr.
All right. So, what's up, man? How we doing? All right.
I'm doing good.
Good. So our first quarter, we're going to talk about we'll talk about the Vineland game a little bit, and then we'll go in and we'll talk more about Jamal. Let's talk about the Vineland game, Coach. I was in bed watching it, but I put it this way: I don't know how much NyQuil I could have took. I wasn't going to sleep because I was like, "What is going on?" I was getting a little nervous because I thought the game was going to go where we would get a lead. No disrespect to Vineland, but I thought we would get a lead and then sit our starters, and I thought that was, and then it didn't happen that way.
Yeah. I mean that was the intention. We didn't want to do that, but I mean, to be honest, what happened, I kind of expected because you're coming off of 3 days rest because we play, we're playing at a very high level against Mainland, you're exerting a ton of energy, and we're coming back to play the game of football, a physical sport, 3 days later, so we were kind of a little sloppy. We did some silly things, made some silly mistakes, and they capitalized on it to their credit, and we just had to stay in the grind. But we obviously were able to make it work out. I mean, I don't know if I was that nervous. I was just frustrated because I was just like, I didn't want to be in this long situation.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the game itself because, again, I guess the folks need to know about what happened before that game with the playoff game, where we wanted to move the game, and thanks to some folks that we know in Millville, a long time, Joe Bollendorf, and we reached out to the NJSIAA, and we felt that the Group 5 teams didn't have a Thanksgiving Day game, so they could have moved the Group 5 team to Sunday
and had us play on
Group 4
Saturday.
team on Saturday, and we tried to do that, but we just got to let the Thunderbolt faithful know the NJSIAA told us it wasn't up to us; it was up to the site coordinator, Cherokee. So
yeah.
And then they didn't want to move it. So I'll say it on the air. Do we have a home game with Cherokee coming up or next year, or we're at their place?
No, we're at their place next year. So.
But again, it's as far as accommodations at either Shawnee or
all those Marlton schools are terrible with accommodations. That's just how they are.
Yeah, because and so everybody knows that when you come to our house, we treat you not with respect, but with accoutrements to make sure you're comfortable and you're doing what you need to do, and that's what I think all people should be doing. It's in today's game, especially with the internet and how we're watching the high school sports. We want to help everybody have their fans watch the game. So, and even I heard that you weren't even going to have, what game was it where you weren't going to be able to have your coaches up in the box?
That was the Hamilton game. So Hamilton, Dave had to call up and. They were awful too. They were gonna legit. They have what they call like a
crow's nest.
Yeah, crow's nest, which is like just a platform in the visitors section. It's like, but it's right there, and that's what they find acceptable to put their coaches in. But in the state rules, it says that you have to have equal accommodations. And Dave was able to force that hand and get it. I remember. Listen, they put us in a locker room at Hamilton. And there was like an auxiliary gym right there, and I asked the AD. I was like, "Hey, can we go in there to do our stretch? So because we don't want to go outside and do it on the ground, we want to do our stretch in there." I'm like, "We'll take our cleats off. We understand, We'll go in there with socks." He's like, "Well, I got to go ask my coach to see if he wants to do that because it's got to be equal." And I'm like, bro, I'm like, "Are you serious?" Eventually he came to, but I was just kind of disappointed. Like, why are we making this so difficult? Like, we wouldn't do that to you because if you were at our building, we let teams use our memorial gym all the time.
Exactly. So, I want to talk about the Vineland game. It's my fault, but a lot goes before that game with Mainland, and then leading to the Vineland game. Because again, talking about that 3 days that you guys had, and I was really. I was like, I might be calling Bert. Come on, Bert, what can we do about pushing the Thanksgiving Day back a day? But you're like, no, we're going to be good. and now we're sitting here.
This was a beautiful day, though, so we were fortunate. I mean, were you hurting?
A little bit sore. A little bit sore. But
like sore after that Thanksgiving game or going into it, would you say?
Going into it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, tough turnaround for the kids, after having a couple days.
So what was the speech at halftime at the Vineland game?
I mean, it's just like, just look at them and say, are you serious? I mean, but they knew. I think our guys knew what it was. Wouldn't you say that, Jamal? Like, I mean, like, I think you guys had that conversation, like, all right, let's go,
Yeah, it's more of a turn it on, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, it's just, I guess that's the mentality that, they were talking about on Tribble's show, which worries people, is because, it's like we played down to the competition and then say, all right, now, hey, let's turn it on, and now in the last 3 minutes we're looking to score, and we don't want to be in that situation. That's not like the game plan.
Yeah, gotcha. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jamal now, and I got one video of you making a good play, but you were here before, and welcome back again. But you're a sophomore now, right?
Yep.
So, but you played a lot last year too. You got a lot last year. So I look at your progression as a varsity football player. Tell me a little bit about how you progressed as a varsity athlete.
I would definitely say I took my off-season work a lot more serious coming into my sophomore year, because my problem last year was I was quick to attack but didn't have much punch to the attack. So I came in my off-season year, just wanted to get stronger, get bigger, be able to go against other competition, take more hits, so that now I'm able to shed my blocks, make a tackle, and instead of them falling on top of me, I'm making the tackle in the backfield.
And we have one of those where you get in the backfield. But what about your mental preparation too? Then, how's that? Is the game? They always say the game that goes slower for you. Is the game slower for you?
Yeah, it began to slow. When I first, my first snaps as a freshman, it was quick, but I was able to. I feel like I was able to run around a little bit with the competition. So going into this year, I feel like the game is slowed down a lot more. Like I'm able to diagnose plays easier.
So what about the linebackers? Are you guys talking more too? Like, Solomon Massey Kent and the other linebackers. What's the communication like with you guys?
The communication got a lot better since last year. Being able to build a relationship, like Asir, I've been playing with him since I was 6. So just being able to build a bigger relationship with the rest of the linebackers just makes communication a lot easier.
So what coach do you talk to during the week? We know that Jacob Zamat is they're tied to the hip with Coach Ayala. Who are you tied to the hip to? Anybody in particular?
I'd say my guy Core.
Yeah. Okay. And what's that like? What's the dynamic?
Just whenever I have a question, I go to Core or I ask Gray and just ask one of them. I'm like, just clear up the air for that we make mistakes on a Friday or on a Thursday rather than Saturday night.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to take it to school now, Jamal. So I was asked that question, but I'm going to answer it again because again, your lens changes as you move forward and grow into a high school student. What's it like for high school this year, academically?
Right now, having A's and B's right now. Last year, I think I finished school year with 3.4 GPA.
Good.
So just trying to stay on my grades. It's just been easier.
What's your courses like? What are you taking right now?
Well, I go to tech, so I take every class, all of them, like history, English, math. We take all of them in every marking period.
Okay. And what's your lens looking like now for college, like your coursework and in college? What's going through your head now with that?
Just being able to I'm not really sure what I want to do yet in college, but I'm sure I'll get there.
And guess what? The way the world is changing, it's going to change. Even when you're in college, sometimes it's going to change. But are you looking at certain colleges, though? Or, because I think, believe it, freshman year, people are looking at what college they would like to go to and then what's the criteria to get into that college. I like the atmosphere. Is that going through your head at all?
Yeah. I would say I'm thinking about a few, but I'm more just trying to focus on what's at me right now. And then, as I get along, just let it all roll out.
Okay, and you're also a legacy here. Your father played here,
Mm-hmm.
and so tell me a little bit about his legacy. What did he play?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Did he play? What position did he play?
oh, he played receiver in DB.
Okay. And then where did he go to college?
Temple.
He went to Temple?
Mhm.
Okay. Did he do anything after Temple?
Yeah, he played for like a short stint with the Eagles.
Okay, good. And what's his involvement with you with bowling right now?
It's just everything. Like, he told me one of the most important things is a linebacker that can do everything. Just being able to cover. So he just gave me his rules as a DB, transferred them on to me, just made me a better player.
Good stuff, good stuff. Coach, Jamal's progression over the past 2 years for you?
Yeah, it's been huge. It's just coming in as a freshman, and we had a really good freshman. He's got a really good class on top of it. But just coming in as a freshman, flying around, making plays, showing up, and like he said, he comes, like you said, from his father. He comes from a football household. He understands what his greatest weaknesses are and what he needed to improve on, and he hit it on the head. He didn't need to have an end of the year evaluation because he knew he had to get a little bit stronger. He plays with his hands now. He plays probably with his hands probably better than half our D linemen, and honestly with some of the best of all of our linebackers. And he's not only, as you talk to him, you see this rubbing off. He's a student of the game, but he's also an academic scholar. So he does what he's got to do in the classroom, but you can tell that transfers onto the field. And he talks about communication with German and with Bob and, also with the seer inside. That has really taken it to the next level. And I've talked about, and he kind of mentioned it, and I've mentioned this a few times being on here, it's all not about just flying around. We have phenomenal athletes. We can be all over the field. We can go sideline to sideline if we have to. But it's about reading and diagnosing and processing what you're seeing so that when we come to the sideline, he's the first one to, let's get on the tablet, let's see, coach, but I'm getting blocked by this person. We drew it up all week. It wasn't really going this way. It was going like this. It's important to understand not only what's going on as the game slows down, what's going on, but to understand what's going on around you. Understand who's blocking you or, where are they coming from, the angle, so that you understand how to get your read, how to hit your hole, and how to play fast, through that. And, Jamal in the linebacking core, we talk about it all the time. That's one of the it's the most important room on our team with us running that 3-5. But they have really embraced each other left and right. With the seer coming on late and through the year, I know, like I said, I get on Jamal a lot. Just in practice today is a great example. I kind of set him up. He knows he doesn't like it, but I set him up to make the best for him. We talked about get a speed rush today. He ran a little speed rush, and I ran a screen behind him just to set him up. He got mad at me, but it prepares them for what's going to happen. Let's make that mistake right now on a Thursday. Let's have that happen now because I know he's not going to allow that to happen in the game. And it's preparing them for not only to not let it happen, but it's going to make success out of it. He's going to either jump it or he's going to have an interception or he's going to get a tackle for loss. As you're going to see, he's got a sack on the one. These are being students of the game and really understanding we know we have athletes. We know we can fly around. We can run sideline to sideline or up and down. We can cover that whole field if we need to. And we've talked about that before. But it's about between the ears. It's about becoming a student of the game and really understand that. And he's a perfect example of it.
Good. So we're going to see that. Let's see him in action. It was at the Lacey game. I captured that.
There you go.
That's you right there, right? And then what are you doing right there, Jamal? It's like a read and react?
Yeah, so on this play, I'm actually not supposed to be blitzing.
Nope. Making a play.
So then
We'll watch it again. So go ahead.
So through my film study, I've seen that these linemen, if you do a delayed blitz, they tend to get a little bit lazy on their blocks, and they'll just look around for more linemen instead of backers coming in. So as I'm reading, I'm bouncing, more looking at what the quarterback is doing, what he's looking at. So then I see my lineman steps up, hole creates, so I just come through, come around for the sack.
And again,
Awesome.
that's what we talk about being a student of the game. You can't teach that. That's something that, again, he comes from a football household, and he understands these things. And we've talked about, too, on the defensive side of the ball, yeah, we're defensive and we defend everything and we'll defend every yard like we've talked about, but it's about being aggressive. It's about going and dictating. I don't believe in sitting back and, as a fighter, a defensive fighter, yeah, sooner or later you're going to feel comfortable like these offensive line. They felt comfortable. They thought they were good. Well, guess what? We're coming. And I tell these guys all the time, if you, through your studies of film and through paying attention and going through the process and the practice week, if something opens, I want these guys to make plays. There is no better feeling because he gets up and he celebrates. But I guarantee if you could zoom out and see me on the sideline, I'm going crazy too because that's what it's about. And it's about understanding and processing and putting these kids in the opportunity for him to make a play. It has nothing to do with, I didn't call blitz. We didn't call blitz. Myself, Coach Gray from up top, we didn't see anything. He did. It's all on him, and it's his preparation and what they do, and that's why it's so rewarding. It's why I go crazy on the sideline. It's why I act the way I act sometimes. It's rewarding to see it really pay off for these guys.
Awesome. So we're going to conclude our first quarter. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Good.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Your smile is more than just your teeth. At Tenbrook Orthodontics, discover the smile you deserve to have. Get more smiles, more affordably priced with Harvard-trained Dr. Tenbrook's 21st century technology. Get Tenbrook's exclusive T1 braces or Invisalign, which gradually delivers a gorgeous smile. 11 locations like Millville, Washington Township, Vineland, and Mullica Hill, Tenbrook Orthodontics. Spend less time, spend less money, have more fun getting the smile you deserve. Thunderbolt Area Federal Credit Union is your hometown team for banking. We offer banking which is small town focused and customer based. We know you and we are for you. Thunderbolt Area Federal Credit Union is a non-profit and federally insured. Solid as a Thunderbolt airplane, we are your team. Thunderbolt Area Federal Credit Union, 1601 Cedar Street.
Hi, I'm Bob Millard, President of Thunderbolt Area Federal Credit Union. Come see us and experience banking as it used to be.
Are you ready to find your fit at Rowan College of South Jersey?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to find my fit
in human resources,
in engineering technology,
in healthcare.
With 6 divisions that include more than 100 degree and certificate programs, RCSJ gives you the choice to find a future that fits your goals. Visit rcsj.edu/enroll to start today.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. It's Tony Trongone with Coach Ayala, Coach Core, and our sophomore sensation, Jamal Wallace. Our second quarter, we're going to talk about believe it or not, we're going to focus on the Mainland game. And so if we could pick up on what the score, we'll briefly go through the scores of the game just to start us off with that. So we had Mainland, Franchini threw a 29-yard pass to Tyson in the first quarter, and then Brashear Hunter had that 44-yard fumble return. We're going to see all these on video. And we had a kick field. We'll talk about that as far as our kicking game. Put us down 6-7. There was no score in the second quarter, although we moved the ball. It was a weird quarter, that second quarter. And then the third quarter, you can see Mainland scored again on a 9-yard run, and it took a 14-6 lead. And then if you read the papers or the internet, whatever, you can see that you can't put Millville away. You can see that Brashear Hunter ran it in on a 1-yard run and then put us behind, still 12-14. And then with 39 seconds left in the game, Naheem Sharp ran it in from the 18-yard line to win the game. And so, Coach, it was an interesting game, and I want to go to the individual yardage and see. You usually have the balance of things. You can see Mainland's yards and Millville's yards. So we'll concentrate on the Millville. So for Zermatt having 136 yards, for high school kids, that's usually a pretty good number. But for us, it's actually.
Yeah, I know. Without making excuses, I'm gonna make one. I mean, listen, that wind was ripping.
Yeah.
So I mean, it hindered us from stretching the field. I'm not gonna lie. So we attempted to stretch. We attempted to go deep once, and I think on a normal condition day, he throws a great ball to Brooks, but the ball just died in the air and came down. Then we tried to go deep again with the wind, and the ball went 5 yards deeper. So for me, to be honest, I could have tried to take those shots again. I just didn't think it was worth it. So I just said, we'll just keep it intermediate and work around it. So I mean, that's what we did.
And with the rushing, you split the load, and you can see that Sharp and Hunter split the load with carries.
Well, they're a good 1-2 punch. I mean, Hunter, they're two different backs. Brassear is your pound back, but he can get vertical. He's agile, and then Naeem is the shifty.
Is it corny to say they're like thunder and lightning?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm calling them. They both had touchdowns, and then Hunter also had a touchdown with the fumble recovery. And you can see, and Jamal, you run the ball now and then, don't you? You ran it last year, didn't you?
Mm.
Okay. And then for receiving, you can see that Brooks had 4 catches for 39 yards. And then Thomas Smith came up big time.
Yeah,
I should have put that play on there. I didn't put that play on there. Now that I think about it, but
but we've been working him back in, and he's just a good athlete. He helps us out in those situations. He knows how to run routes. He's he has great hands, so he was able to make big plays for us in big moments. So
we're going to go look at some plays now. So the first play is going to be the Mainland. It's a TD pass, and we'll look at it. And we'll see each play twice. It's the first one we have here. So Jamal, you can put it because it's on defense. This is like this is the route tree that they had here going. And it looks like
that was Conyers.
Yeah,
Conyer bit.
It kind of bit a little bit, but also like Coach already talked about, and you can't really tell on tape until you watch it. The whole tape is the wind was blowing, and it was blowing that way. So we had to take in consideration the factor is no matter what, that ball was going to blow it about 2 to 3 yards. And you can see right there he stops his feet when you highlight it, and he knows better. But when he stops his feet, that ball blows right over his head, and he gets himself turned around. He thinks he's in good position, but again, the weather was a factor, and it was something that needed to be in consideration. I talked to the kids about it in pregame, from kicking, the kick game, and also in the pass game. And knowing and going that way, and for them it was the first quarter and within the third quarter, we had to play that. That was something that had to be in consideration. Sometimes when Mother Nature puts her nose in it, she's the most important part. You got to make sure you take care of it. And it was something that slipped his mind, and he knows. And there's like I said this before. There's a viral picture out there, me and him, kind of gripping him up and not yelling at him, but letting him know that it's okay, that we have his back. We're gonna hold it down the rest of the way, and he just needs to trust his technique, trust his pedal, and expect to be challenged again. And they did.
Good. Next play is a great play. We had Brassear Hunter with a defensive fumble recovery, a scoop and run.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, listen. I'm gonna say here, the cold played a factor here too. I saw him drop. I saw Mace dropping balls and his hands bothering him in pregame. And look what happened.
Yeah, just a phenomenal play by Bryce here, too. You see there's a couple people in there, Shaquem Sapp, and I don't know who the other person is, getting ready to kind of pounce on it. But we talk about it, and I've been talking about it for the past few weeks. I want to score. I want to score on defense. There's no there's nothing better than what I like to call Uncle Mo, getting Uncle Mo on your side, and that big momentum swing here. And it really was. It was a huge momentum swing. Again, you have the wind at their back, so they still have the favor there. And like Coach said, it wasn't just some of our kids were cold, but you could tell he was a little cold, and he just swipes right in and scoop and score.
Be honest,
that party in the end zone.
I think he's blown up in the backfield even if he catches that.
Yeah, I think we have it kind of contained anyway. I would agree with you there, Coach. But again, there's no big momentum swing. Look, it's a party in the end zone. It's just let's go back to our sideline. Let's celebrate.
And then the next play, so we're down 7-6. We have it's a Mainland pass play that led to a TV, so it wasn't a touchdown. But if we want to look at that, we can just talk about how that.
I remember this one. Yeah. Again, and this is a great point that we made sure we've cleaned up these past couple weeks. We tend to sometimes lose the motion guy when he goes across. And we're not a man team, we're a zone concept team. And that kind of actually plays against us sometimes. I feel like sometimes because we know we're in zone and we know we're passing it, we're figuring, oh, well, my boy will pick it up for me on that side. Well, if you don't communicate it and you don't understand who's supposed to be bumping over to pick it up, that's the problem.
So you can see the three linebackers up top aren't shifting over.
Yep, they don't shade over, and then they can't get over. You can see, I think that's Bob Solomon trying to make his way over. And Bryceer kind of, too, also gets his eyes caught in the backfield a little bit, and he knows he made a mistake. I don't have to be the person to yell at him. They know the deal.
Mm-hmm. And then, Jamal, were you in that play?
No, not on that play.
Got off the hook on that one.
Okay. And then that put them in scoring position, so that I captured every scoring play, too, so it'll be a Mainland TD run. It's a simple
trap.
Yeah, trap. You see our linebacker shoots the gap.
He has it.
Almost gets it.
Yep. So this again, Tony goes. Yeah, it's a sear. It goes back to, and he knows it. Look, his brother's picking him up on the ground. We talk about this, and I talked about it with Jamal before, right? We draw up a defense, and we draw plays and blitzes on the defensive side of the ball to put these kids in situations to make plays, and he knows he's got to make that play. That's his play to be made. We have everything else covered up, and they hit it with us, and that was one of their, as you could tell, that was one of their bigger plays all game, and on top of it, really that whole game was that little fullback pop or that little trap play that they kept hitting us with. Later in the game, in a big moment in the fourth down, on the last fourth down stop to get the offensive ball back, we stuff it up. We do our job, we fill it, and it's not a sear. I think it's actually our nose tackle who doesn't miss the tackle that time, and it goes for a tackle for loss. It's just when we put you in situations, you got to make the plays, and the kids usually do, and they enjoy those moments.
Great. So the next play is a setup for our touchdown, and so you're going to see it's Bryceer Hunter. Look, some good blocking on this play. Yeah. Some really good blocking. Watch. I was really impressed. It's a little bit of a glitch here, but the play will go in a second. But that's Bryceer Hunter highlighted. There we go. You can see some really good blocking here.
Yeah, we did a good job just counter. Everybody did a good job doing their 111th and getting there. Look, that's a good move too by him. Getting to the outside. Yeah, it was a good job. It was a good run. Listen, it took us a little bit, but we got the run. We got the run down. Penalties didn't help. Like the first drive of the game, we were driving it, but then we had 3 penalties in a row. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? Can't have penalties. Can't be in that position.
Like I said, I know Bryceer hits the hole really well, but I was really impressed with the blocking.
And listen, and I say this in the most humble way and without disrespect to them, it wasn't anything that they did that held us back as much as what we did that held us back, because we're our own worst enemy at times. Because, they gave us what we needed. And we made adjustments in the second half, which wound up causing us to be able to exploit what they were trying to do. So
that was a good long run by him, and then you give the rock back to Bryceer on the next a couple plays later to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, listen, he's the guy you want in this goal line situation. He's going to give you that extra yard.
So that's that play, and then. I think this play coming up, we'll watch one more time that TD run by Bryceer. And then the next play is the kickoff after this touchdown. Mm-hmm. And I was watching, I'm like, oh my God. And you can see here, and I see her Cornish gets the.
But we just overrun it, Yeah.
I highlighted Asir because that's where he's at.
Yeah, it's a great person to highlight because he's the day
this
here.
is all hustle. Because he misses them the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Right here he misses them.
But there's no quitting that kid. He keeps on going. And that's a touchdown saving tackle right there. We talk about that.
That's huge, man. That's huge. That's the game. That's game changer, man. Listen, that, all the respect in the world for that kid.
Yeah, and again, Mainland creates a really big wedge there, and we kind of, like Coach said, run around it on the outsides, and then inside we get swallowed up, and it's off to the races. And like I said,
you could see people dying out.
That's an all-conference, all-state kid too, right there, running back. He's going to, I'm pretty sure, Villanova. One AA kid right there, and that's a junior middle linebacker who's just refuses to stop, refuses to not give up.
And our defense did great too, because then they're first in goal, right? So we had to make a stop here.
I'm not gonna lie, we were already talking about what we were gonna do offensively, because we were just assuming that you're in that position. It's it's hard to have goal line stands in high school. It's very hard, especially against that kind of style offense. That wing T, that's what they're built on. But our defense came too, and defense wins championship, offense wins games, man, and defense has been coming through big time.
So the next one is a key scramble by our quarterback, Jacob Zamat. So I watched it, and they had good coverage. You had trips right.
Listen, his legs helped us in the Hamilton game too. This is.
So he sees everybody's covered.
Yeah, they dropped everybody on their team in coverage. So this was a good decision by him. He said on his first drop he saw everything. He saw everybody bail. And he saw the hole, so that was his decision. That wasn't like play design or anything like that. So.
Yeah, it looks like they're in like a two-man.
They even have a guy sitting out back in center field that's not even covering anybody.
Yeah. Listen, they knew what it was. They knew what we are. This is the dynamic of our team. It's like you got to respect every aspect of what we do. Mm-hmm. So.
And then the final play is the Naheem Sharp run.
I didn't think we were going to score on this.
That's what I was going with that play call.
Listen. You got to respect our pass game. Look at how they're over. They're.
But that block by Marcus All.
Oh yeah. Listen, but we had numbers. We had numbers to this, and that was the huge part. Like we had numbers. They overloaded to the trip side so hard because you have to respect those guys on that side. Look at how they're shaded. Like we're running backside, and you got. You got 4 to 3. It's a win. And they look at Mark, good block. Mm-hmm. Took his zone step, got up to the next level. Look at Andino up there, boom, big block there by Andino, pancakes him.
Yep, finishes it off.
Yeah, listen. I didn't expect to score there, but it worked out.
Yeah, but they always talk about that when they look at a play, and Bill Belichick always says, do your job.
Yeah.
And if everybody does their job, every play is designed to be a touchdown.
Correct.
That's why this sport's so difficult, because you need everybody on accord. Yeah.
11 acting as one.
So I'm going to end the quarter. It was a longer quarter, but because of all these plays. But Jamal, what were your thoughts about that game? What did you learn about your team at that Mainland game?
I always believed it, but we have a lot of fight. Like we don't want to lose. We didn't want to go home. We wanted to keep on playing. So I believed in my guys that we'll come out swinging stronger than the first half.
So it not only shows more about what you're physically made of, but what you're mentally made of, and your mental toughness. So it says a lot. So really proud of you and your efforts. So congratulations on that win. And because it's that was for the South. That's actually a semifinal game.
Yeah, the regional game. Yeah, that was the regional game. So that was what we played in against Winslow last year at Rutgers.
Exactly. All right, so that's the end of the half, and I want to thank Jamal for showing up. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming game, but again, always a joy to see you here, Jamal, and then watching you play ball and see you progress in a fabulous athlete, but also a good student. So thank you. That being said, I'm going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back for the second half.
Okay. Are you ready to find your fit at Rowan College of South Jersey?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
To find my fit.
In human resources.
In engineering technology.
In healthcare.
With 6 divisions that include more than 100 degree and certificate programs, RCSJ gives you the choice to find a future that fits your goals. Visit rcsj.edu/enroll to start today.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
Need something fixed? Think Latour Hardware and Garden Center, your best bet for reliable and lasting repairs. For over 30 years, Latour has been the expert in small engine repairs, lawnmower repairs, blade sharpening, screen and window repair, glass cutting, generator maintenance, and power tool repairs. Latour services all major brands, and whether you visit the store or take advantage of Latour's pickup and delivery service, you'll know your job is being done right. Think hardware, think Latour Hardware and Garden Center. Come on in and get started.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Tony Trongone, and we're here with Coach Ayala and Coach Core. And this is the part of the segment where we talk about the upcoming game. And so I'll start with Coach Ayala, looking at the type of defense that they run. What do you got geared up for?
They show like a 3-4 type defense. 3-man front. They'll walk one of their outside backers down, depending on the wide side or to the field. They show a lot of single high coverage, but I know they'll go to 2 high. Everything we see, it shows 1 high. I don't know. Well, the thing that I always say to him, that what keeps us up at night is what adjustments are they going to do? Because this is a state championship game, and they're well aware of what we can do. And, I'm sure their goal is how can they stop us, with the personnel that they have. So, what we see through every game is that 3-4 defense. So,
okay, Coach, on offense.
Yeah, offensively, it's finally something that our boys have been waiting on. It's been a long time coming. With the way we've been playing through the playoffs, we've seen from Lacey to Jackson to Hamilton all the way to Mainland. They're all wing T teams. So our secondary has been getting a little bored. So they're getting ready. They're ready to finally cut it loose here. So we made sure we did a lot of 7-on-7, really clean up our pass coverages, clean up all that stuff. But offensively, they're a multi version of a spread. You're going to see a lot of 3 receivers on the field, 11 personnel at certain times, having in the backfield, and they're well coached. You can tell that they like to try to go on to they try to get you with the snap down that Lenape got us on, and you talk about being a biggest critic of yourself. I understand they're going to try to do that, and you'll see in a couple of minutes. I saw you did your homework too, looking at it. Some of the stuff that we give up, they like to do, from different route combinations to different things like that. So it's very important to kind of get back in the lab, get back after with the kids and understand. Listen, and I told them the first defensive day, I said the biggest thing is understand yourself. I said, what are we bad at? And the kids looked at me like, well, we're in a state championship. We're not too bad at nothing. I said, no, we're bad at some things. What are we bad at? Understand what we give up and what we're not too good at. And it's finally getting away from all these power run teams. We're finally going to get to show off a little bit about who we are and what our defense is. And these multiple spread type teams with our 3-5, it really is built for this type of defense. Our defense is built for these type of offenses, should I say. So it's finally, the kids have been gassed up. They've been ready to go. They're getting after it. We've actually finally having 7-on-7 periods because Coach Coors kind of really cut those out of practices the last few weeks, because if you look at it, you go back to the Mainland, even though they did beat us with a pass, a lot of these teams that we've seen from Hamilton to Mainland, they're not throwing teams. So it was important to get back and understand, pass drops, pass coverages, who's going, who's not, what we're blitzing and who we're bringing.
Yeah, they have that number 10, Schmakowski.
Yes.
He's got 10 touchdowns, 46 catches, 582 yards, and then number 16, Madison, he's got 5 touchdowns.
He's the number 1 receiver.
He's got 801 yards. Then they got a runner, Sparago, number 22. He's got 8 touchdowns, 867 yards. And they have a sophomore quarterback.
Yep, they actually have 2 quarterbacks. It's very rare that you see kind of teams run a 2 kind of quarterback type of system. And I couldn't get a real read on if I think 7 was the original starter who got hurt, and then they rotate another kid in. He's number 4. He's a junior, a little bit better of a scrambler. Maybe not as good of a thrower. Will take just as many risks. Will read through the middle of the field. I think they both are well coached. I can tell by their coaches, because they do a good job of really reading the middle of the field. You talked about number 10. He's like their tight end, kind of H-back kind of guy they use all over the place, like kind of, Swiss Army knife in a sense. But he does a great job of working the middle of the field. And they talked about number 16 is a big play guy. He'll take the top off the defense. But again, all those kids, even going to the running back, they're all seniors. And that they want to go out as the first, Group 4 team. So
we have a couple plays where you'll see this first play that I picked from the Irvington game. It's a wheel route, but with a pick, and you can tell both him and his partners on that side of the field know how to pick without getting the flag called on them.
Yep, absolutely.
So you'll see it. We'll see it a couple times.
I think it's number 30, the guy right there he runs into. They kind of set him up perfect. They come right across. They play it off. Again, 2 senior kids, number 2 and number 16. They understand how to play it off and make it look like it's not a pick, when everybody at home and everybody now watching it knows it's a pick. So we'll make sure we were prepared for it.
We'll watch it one more time. But I said that was pretty slick when they did that and they got away with it.
Our corner ain't chasing that.
Yeah, all these offensive coordinators and all these things that they do nowadays with these RPOs and these slips and these little screens and these different design, what they call a rub. That's a pick anywhere I come from. And a basketball court, that's a pick right there. Yeah. Shoot, it's a moving pick because he don't have his feet set. But it's what they do, and that's what happens. It gets that kid, again, number 30, caught up and gets caught in space, and next thing you know, they're off to the races and the band's playing the music.
And that was at number 10. And
absolutely.
He's leading the team in touchdowns. And then the second thing is the quarterback draw. So we got that coming up in there. And the quarterback, I'm not sure what number he was, if it is number 7. I think it's number 7, yeah.
Again, they do a good job, rotating these guys through. Just because number 7's in the game, it's not like he's a true passing quarterback and number 4 is a true running quarterback.
You see the hard count
there? There it is, Tony. We're prepared for it. We've been prepared for it. Unfortunately, we got burned earlier in the year against Lenape with it. So I know our kids are prepared for it, and we're going to be locked in on it. But again, they spread you out a little bit. You get that multiple spread look. All right, but it's just to spread you out to get the numbers they need in the box. And it's just quarterback power. It's, everybody's on big up front, and they're leading up and through with the ISO on the middle linebacker, and there you go. You let them loose. And like I said, he's the sophomore, but there's also a junior, number 4, who's even more athletic, and can run around too. And they use them both just as much as the 7's in the game. We have just as much tape on having number 4 in the football game too. I do think 7 is probably going to be the guy we're going to see, but again, this is what they do.
Count.
Yep.
So they can tell they're polished. Mm-hmm. Their line's not big, but they do sustain their blocks.
Yeah, they stay on.
They stay on their blocks real well. And the quarterback ran pretty well. And again, you see how they stayed on their blocks all the way through.
Yeah, they're both quarterbacks. They're both patient runners, and even number 22, their starting running back, he's a senior running back who's played behind these probably offensive line for a few years, and they understands how to make his cuts, how to set up his line, how to get in and out between the tackles and hit it. And I expect the same things on Saturday.
And then the other one is a drag by number 16. He's their leading receiver, Madison, and you'll see he comes across the field. And again, he really knows he knows how to hide. They'll take the left side and bring everybody over to the right and clear the field for him and go across.
Yeah, they scheme, like I said, that's how you know they're well coached. They scheme it out real well, and they know what they're doing. They know how they're drawing it up. And again, it's another version of a rub route. Yeah, that's why they're so close to each other. It looks like they kind of run each other off their route, but it's done on purpose. It's done on purpose to create a rub, and you can see the safety coming down right now and talking to his guy, his secondary player who's supposed to be covering it, how he gets lost in space. And again, us as a coaching staff, we're not huge on, obviously certain times we go man-to-man for certain situations and dictate it, but I felt like Irvington just tried to man them up and kind of shut them down, and it's not the answer because their coaches get paid too. They earn their checks. And they drew up a scheme, and there you go. There's that rub route, and if that's caught, that's 6 points. That's another 6 points on the board.
So, and then the last one is an Irving. So, this is now them on defense.
Gotcha.
And coach, what I noticed, their corners play pretty far off the ball.
They mix it in though. Before pre-snap, they have a lot of movement before pre-snap. So they'll flare up or whatnot, But I mean, I almost think you have to. I mean, listen, if you're gonna have single coverage like that, that kid's a Division I kid. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Just ran a vertical route, put the ball there, made him. He made a play. Safety's nowhere.
This is single high too, right?
Yeah, that safety's not athletic enough to get there. It's almost like you put that safety in. You put them in such a bad position. They left that corner on an island.
So we're gonna hope for that.
Yeah, I mean. Listen, they're going to give you can't take away everything. So they're going to pick and choose what they can take away. And, our job on the offensive side is to make adjustments and take advantage of what we do get and, run away with that.
Okay. So these plays will conclude the third quarter, and we're going to be right back and just talk about the nuances of the upcoming game with the coaches and close out with the fourth quarter. We'll take a commercial break.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
Are you ready to go green and cut down on your electric bill? Then there is only one call you need to make. Soaring Solar is your complete source for solar, including new roof installations. Soaring Solar is a veteran-owned and family-run company. Call the Soaring Solar family today and talk with one of our solar consultants. Call your local Soaring Solar consultant, Vicky Kozak, today at 856-265-1262 or email her at vkozak@soaringsolar.com.
Hey parents, there's something you should know. If you don't teach me about money, that's okay. I'll live off your nest egg for the rest of my life.
Feel confident talking to your kids about money.
You're gonna find me a real one, right?
Before it's too late. Get ready at td.com/kidsandmoney.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Tony Trongone with Coach Ayala, head coach of our Thunderbolts, along with assistant coach, Coach Core. And we're gonna finish it off with talking more about the upcoming game against Northern Highlands. Coach, this is your first year as a head coach, but it's the first year for their coach too as a head coach, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot
I
of
think he was a head coach somewhere else too. Prior to that, the year before, it was like an interim head coach or something like that.
Right. Well, I think their coach had died before the last game. Their head coach, Northern Highlands, yeah. And then they played the game. They played Irvington before we played last year, Winslow, and that's where Irvington had that fumble return and they scored in overtime. So that was their last taste of Rutgers last year, was Northern Highlands playing Irvington. And so them beating Irvington was sweet for them in the playoffs. And I want to talk about them a little bit. So they played Montgomery. They had Irvington in the second round of the playoffs for them. Then they had Ramapo, and then they had North Hunterton. And then their last three games, they had overtime. So they had overtime games. So they played almost similar to us, and they had really tight games. The only thing is, we were talking about during the break that they had that one game against Ramapo. It was a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering the complexion of that game. I didn't watch much of the film of that, but to say what was going on with their defense that they allowed that many points.
Well, I mean, Ramapo's a good team. I mean, the quarterback just got committed or got an offer from Rutgers. So I mean, Ramapo is a good team. They throw the ball really well. And I just think they took advantage of what Northern Highlands gave them. They're a good football team. They're battle tested just like we are. They do a lot of good things. They're tough, even though that they're not big in like stature. You could tell that they're physically well put together. They're not like sloppy. They hit the weight room in the off season, and you could just see that they're well coached. They're a well coached football team. It's impressive to watch them on film, and it's gonna be a good game.
Interesting stat I picked up. They have 10 interceptions in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
that one guy Schmikowski, number 10. He's got most of them.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that. I mean, I think a lot of it had to do with too the fact that some of those balls came right to him. When you watch it on film, I mean, he's in good position. They put him in good position, but I mean, some balls sailed, some he was in great position and made a good read. So, I mean, they're a tough team. They're a tough team. That's why we're going to pick and choose, our moments and take advantage of what they give us.
Staying on the offensive side of the ball with us now. Jacob Zamat, what's his practice, the week of practice for him been like?
He's been good. I mean, still growth and development. I mean, the kid's confident. So, I mean, as long as he's confident and he's good and he stays even keel and doesn't allow the moment to be too big and he is poised, which is, the hardest thing for a young kid to understand. Like in those big moments, you may make mistakes. It's just all about how you handle it and come back from that mistake, So that's what I've been preaching to him constantly. So, but yeah, he's been on point. We lit up our defense a couple times on defensive days. So,
how about on the defensive side? How ready are we?
We're prepared. Absolutely. I've been watching a lot of film for the last week. About 12, 13 games that we've watched. And I told the coaches, and I've said it to the kids, and we have the breakdown of the century ready. So from everything, from huddle, broken down from play type to play formation to play run to if it's a pass or a run, our kids can literally go on the huddle and sit there and watch. They can click on pass, and it'll give them all. I've said it like about a bunch of times. What was it? 265 pass plays they threw this year, and then they can click on all the run plays and watch 295 run plays. Right. So they can they have the keys. We have literally the breakdown of the century, I called it. So we're prepared. We flew around this week, and it was finally really, with the weather being cold and kind of crappy and a little bit of rain the other day, it was finally nice for the kids to get out there and get some pass coverages and really fly around, because that's what we want to do. We want to see teams that are, kind of like how our offense is. They spread it around, they throw it around, and on top of it, they're 50-50. They're going to I think they're going to throw a little bit more to set up the run, but they're going to run the ball. They're not going to come in here and try to throw it all around on us, and they're not going to come in and try to pound it right down our throat. They're going to be a happy medium, and it's really nice to get the full all 11 engaged, because I felt like our secondary was kind of getting a little bored these past few weeks with things. Now, they didn't fall asleep because we still ended up with a couple interceptions. Should have had another one versus Mainland. We won't go there, but it was probably a bad call. But we should have had another one in that game too. And in Hamilton, we sealed the deal with an interception. So it's really nice to finally get our athletes, fully engaged. And you could tell this week in the week of practice that we had.
Great. So, so the ride up to Rutgers, you're prepared. I know I signed off on a coach bus going up there. Coach,
yeah.
Appreciate that.
Dave was he said he was going to take care of us. He promised me that he was going to make sure that we rode up in comfort, which is much appreciated. Through both of you guys. I mean, it makes things easier just so the guys can be comfortable. But school buses, are so much. I mean, listen, the benefit of the coach bus is that you can put all your stuff underneath, and nothing's in the aisle, and the kids could kind of stretch out and relax.
I think people forget, like living in Millville and driving up to Rutgers, that's still quite a ride.
It's 2 hours. We got to compensate for that. We got to prepare for that. We got the Thunderbolt Club. I want to give a nice shout out to. They got team meal for us on Saturday. They're making lunches for us to bring up there so the kids have something to eat, so that they're not hungry when they get up there as well. So, I mean, the support from across the board in the city has just been phenomenal, and we're much appreciative of it.
Great. Also want to thank Rich Van Noord for the stats.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Rich. He made my job easier throughout the year, not having to rewatch it and take it down. So.
Yeah, so I didn't cite him earlier, and then the breakdown. So, Coach, be ready. The game is Saturday at 6 p.m. at Rutgers.
July 5th until now. We started July 5th, and we've survived the stretch and been playing playoffs in the playoffs for the last month.
Exactly. And it'll be at Rutgers SHI Stadium.
Yeah.
The game will be televised. We will be having it on Quinn. He'll have it on the radio, but also I think Jim's going to have it set up to where we can watch it on our local channel too, so stay tuned for that. On Saturday, 6 p.m., our mighty Thunderbolts playing against the Northern Highlands. I think, as you can see, we're ready. Coach, any parting shots?
No, appreciate the support, and anybody that can come on out and support us. If not, ready to bring one back here to the great city.
Yeah, I mean, the more the city comes out, the better it is. We could make that stadium our home stadium because, I mean, they're not too far from there, so I'm sure they're going to have a good support group. I know we have a fan bus going up there as well.
Yep.
So the more the merrier, and the kids would love the support.
All right, you heard it right from the head coach and the defensive coordinator. This is Tony Trongone signing off for the Coach's Corner, and as always, go Bolts. Thank you.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.